对不起。
The movie starts on a subway train. A young man, our commuter, is scrolling through the news on his phone. Suddenly, a baby starts crying in the train car. An angry passenger snaps and starts yelling at the mother. But everyone else just stares at their phones and ignores the drama. The commuter feels bad for the mom, but he is too scared to help. Instead, he puts in his earbuds to block out the noise. Just then, his phone starts ringing. It's his ex-girlfriend, but he ignores the call and gets off the train. As he heads toward the exit, the phone rings again. This time, he answers. That's when she drops a bombshell, that she's pregnant and wants to give their relationship another chance, but only if he's ready to grow up and be a real father. Hearing all of this, the commuter starts to panic. His breathing becomes heavy, and he quickly reaches for his asthma inhaler. Then, just as things couldn't get any worse, the call suddenly drops because there is no cell signal underground. Stressed and afraid, he keeps walking down a long hallway toward a sign that reads Exit 8. As he walks down the hall, he passes a man carrying a briefcase. The commuter turns the corner into the next hallway, but something is completely wrong. It is the exact same hallway. There is the man with the briefcase again, walking the exact same way. And that's when it hits us. The commuter is trapped in a loop. But it gets even weirder. Just before he steps into the next hallway, he notices a chilling detail. The yellow sign on the wall has changed. It now reads Exit 0. Even though it feels wrong, he walks in. He tries to pull the fire alarm, but it is broken. He tries to open 3 doors, but they are all locked. Then he spots a strange image hanging on the wall. Ants marching endlessly along a twisted loop, trapped in a cycle with no beginning or end. And then things take a terrifying turn. Blood suddenly starts dripping from the ceiling, pouring right over the Exit 8 sign. Terrified, the commuter turns around and runs back the way he came. When he gets back to the start, the sign now reads Exit 1. He notices a poster on the wall that reveals the rules of this strange maze. It says that if he sees anything weird or different, he must turn back immediately. But if everything looks totally normal, he should keep moving forward until he reaches his goal, which is Exit 8. Following the rules, he walks into the next hallway, checking every single detail. Everything looks completely normal to him, so he walks straight to the end. But when he looks up, the sign reads Exit 0. He missed something. As viewers, we can spot the anomaly right away. The ceiling lights are crooked and completely out of line, but the commuter totally missed it. Frustrated, the commuter tries to outsmart the system. He pulls out his phone and snaps pictures of every single detail in the hallway. He loops back to the start, reaches Exit 1, and feels like an absolute genius. Right then, he checks his phone. Every single photo is completely corrupted. This means that he cannot cheat the game. He has to use his own memory. He walks forward and sees the briefcase man again. But this time, the man is standing perfectly still, staring at him with a giant, creepy smile. Just then, the briefcase man suddenly chases him, forcing the commuter to run back as fast as he can until he reaches Exit 2. In the next hallway, he looks for anything strange, but sees nothing, so he keeps moving forward. Everything seems fine until he hears a baby crying inside a safety cabin. When he gets closer, the sound changes into dozens of screaming babies. Terrified, he runs all the way back, and the sign changes to Exit 3. Because of all the running, he struggles to breathe and gasps for air. In the next hallway, everything appears completely normal, until he notices something chilling. The eyes on the posters are actually moving, tracking his every step. Panicked, he spins around to head back, only to find the sign has now shifted to Exit 4. The next hallway is totally normal. He checks everything, finds no anomalies, and walks straight through. The sign now reads Exit 5. Seeing this, the commuter gets a surge of hope. It looks like things are finally starting to get better. In the next hallway, he begins to check for anomalies. Just then, his ex-girlfriend calls him again. She says she is going to keep the baby and will wait for him to be ready. The commuter tells her he is too scared to be a dad. He tells her about the poor mother on the subway and how no one, not even him, had the courage to help her. Because he is so busy talking, he walks straight through the next hallway, not realizing that the call itself is an anomaly. At the end, the sign changes to exit 0. Moving forward, he is completely broken inside. Realizing he has just lost all his progress, a sense of total defeat washes over him as the hallway lights shift into a sickly yellow. Exhausted and consumed by rage, he hurls his bags onto the floor and collapses to the ground, giving up entirely. After a while, he calms down and starts over. He clears exit 1. In the next hallway, he sees an 8-year-old boy standing in the middle of the path. Thinking the boy is an anomaly, the commuter turns back and returns to exit 0. This means the boy was not actually an anomaly. It's hard to tell what's an anomaly here. The boy is trapped in the same loop as the commuter, with a scar across his cheek. Suddenly, he bolts down the hallway, the commuter chasing after him. The boy points toward the briefcase man, but the man just walks past like a robot. Then, we cut to a flashback of the briefcase man and the boy, revealing that both the briefcase man and the boy have actually been trapped in this loop for way longer than we thought. The scene shows the duo carefully scanning the hallway for anomalies, where everything seems normal at first, right before the usual walking man is replaced by a high school girl we will call the walking woman walking down the hallway. The group continues forward, checking every detail around them. They don't find any for anomalies and successfully make it to exit 5. Feeling hopeful, they enter the next hallway and continue their search. That's when the walking woman starts talking. She says she can't find an exit and asks if she can tag along with them. The briefcase man agrees. After a while, the walking woman starts asking strange things, like if this hallway is hell, if they're being punished here, and if going to work every day isn't already its own kind of punishment, until she begins repeating those same lines over and over, until this happens.
大丈夫ですか?
She sounds less like a person and more like a monster. Realizing something is seriously wrong, the briefcase man grabs the boy and runs in the opposite direction. When they reach the end, they discover a sign reading exit 6. They're only a couple of correct choices away from finally escaping. They move into the next hallway and resume searching for anomalies. Everything looks normal to the briefcase man, but when he turns around, he notices the boy has stopped in front of a door. Without understanding why, he pulls him along and continues forward. But as viewers, we can clearly see what the boy noticed. The handle is directly in the middle of the door, an obvious anomaly. Unfortunately, the briefcase man misses the anomaly. As a result, the sign at the end of the hall reads exit 0, completely erasing all of their progress. By now, the rules of the game are clear. Miss an anomaly, and you're sent all the way back to the beginning. The briefcase man completely loses his temper, screaming in frustration and throwing objects around the hallway. But after a while, he controls himself and heads to the hallway with the boy. This time, stairs are visible at the end of the hallway. The briefcase man immediately assumes they found the exit. Convinced the nightmare is finally over, he rushes toward the stairs. Sensing that something is wrong, the boy desperately grabs his arm to stop him, but the briefcase man completely ignores the warning. He shoves the boy aside and races up the staircase. The impact leaves a scar on the boy's left cheek, matching the injury from earlier. This confirms the entire loop is the origin story of the briefcase man and the boy, playing out parallel to the commuter timeline. After that, the boy heads back in the opposite direction. When he reaches the end, the sign reads exit 1. That means the staircase itself was an anomaly. The brutal reality is that the briefcase man never escaped, meaning he is likely trapped in a separate, never-ending loop forever. Moving on, the boy enters another hallway and suddenly sees the briefcase man approaching from the opposite direction. He rushes over to stop him, but something feels wrong. The briefcase man doesn't react, speak, or even acknowledge him. The boy moves to the next hallway, where a familiar face suddenly emerges. The commuter has finally arrived. The commuter mistakes the boy for an anomaly, and this is the same scene when the commuter saw the boy for the first time. After that, they both decide to team up. Scanning the hallway together, the commuter quickly spots an anomaly on a poster. But the boy doesn't care. He heads straight for the end of the hall, forcing the commuter to trail behind. The sign hits Exit 1. Right then, the commuter realizes the boy is sharper than he looks. It turns out there is actually no anomaly in the poster. In the next hallway, the commuter checks every corner and finds nothing wrong, but the boy spots a bizarre trap, a door handle stuck in the middle of the door. That sharp catch lets them clear. The sign now reads Exit 2. As they enter the next hallway, the power abruptly cuts out. The commuter turns on his phone light just in time to see monstrous human hybrid rats bursting from the ventilation and falling from the ceiling. They echo the terrifying sound of crying infants. The commuter grabs the boy, flashes the monsters to blind them, and dashes back. The sign now changes to Exit 3. Moments later, in the next hallway, a black cat runs by, and the commuter's ex-girlfriend suddenly appears in the hallway. Believing she is his mother, the boy cries out and runs towards her. The commuter recognizes the trap immediately and stops the boy from reaching the entity. The sheer terror causes the young boy to lose consciousness, so the commuter lifts him up and retreats to Exit 4. During a brief moment of calm, they talk, finally establishing a sense of trust between one another. The boy says he only has a mom and never knew his dad. The commuter gets sad and says he grew up without a dad too. They promise to get out together. In the next hallway, the boy sees that the number 8 on a sign is printed upside down. It is a tiny detail, but the boy is a genius, so they go back and reach Exit 5. In the next hallway, while searching for an anomaly, a door suddenly opens. The commuter looks inside and sees a vision of the subway train from the beginning of the movie. He feels very guilty for not helping the mother, then gently closes the door and turns back to reach Exit 6. Before entering the next hallway, the commuter asks the boy what he wants to do when they escape. The boy smiles and says he wants to eat pizza with extra cheese, then hands the commuter a small seashell for good luck. In the next hallway, while searching for an anomaly, a loud alarm suddenly goes off, and a massive flood of water crashes into the hallway. They're swept away and start drowning. The commuter has a sudden vision of the future where he is at the beach with his girlfriend and the boy. The boy calls him dad, and his girlfriend tells him he must save the boy today so the boy can save him tomorrow. Back in the rushing water, the commuter uses all his strength to lift the boy up onto the Exit 8 sign, keeping him safe from the flood. But the commuter is swept away and drowns. Eventually, the water drains away, and the boy wakes up in a messy, trash-filled hallway. Then he turns back the way he came, and the sign now reads Exit 7. The boy enters the next hallway, and this time he doesn't see any anomalies. He crosses the entire hallway straight away. Before going to the next hallway, he waits for the commuter, but after a while, he goes to the next hallway alone. Then, we see the commuter who did not actually die. He survived the flood, cleared Exit 6, and walks down the final hallway. He finds no anomalies, reaches the end, and the sign reads Exit 8, with stairs leading up to the real world. As he walks up, his phone gets a signal. He calls his girlfriend right away, tells her he is ready to be a father, and says he is coming to the hospital. The movie ends with the commuter back on the subway. A baby starts crying, but this time, instead of ignoring it, he goes to help the mother. And this is where the movie delivers its true mind-bending twist. Ultimately, the maze was not magic, it was all inside his head. The anomalies were based on the news he read on his phone about floods, weird rats, and flickering lights. He created this scary game in his mind because he was terrified of becoming a father. Saving the boy, who was actually a vision of his future son, proved he finally had the courage to step up and be a good dad. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. If you enjoyed this recap, subscribe and come back for the next story. because every movie has a tale worth telling.